November.
I'm Stacy Skaggs.
Set your sights on Shooters, Northern Michigan's premier archery pro shop, carrying bows from top manufacturers like Bowtech, Prime, Quest, 10 Point, Striker, and more. With prices starting at $300, we have the bow to fit your budget. At Shooters, we also service, set up, and tune your current equipment. Schedule a lesson or sharpen your skills on any one of our 3 archery ranges. It's all indoors, so the weather's always right for archery. At Shooters Indoor Gun and Archery Range, just west of Menards on US 31, Traverse City.
In this economy, who doesn't need a little extra cash?
Or a lot of extra cash, for that matter. At Ace Buyers here in Traverse City, we turn your unwanted items into cash.
Everyone has stuff around the house they wouldn't mind getting rid of for a little dough. Guns, gold, guitars, you name it, Ace buys it.
Don't want to sell your item, but you need cash now? Ace Buyers will buy your item and give you time to get it back.
When life happens, you have more options than you think.
Ace Buyers, South Airport Road, Traverse City.
You know, I get asked all the time, why should I buy my car at Car City? Well, maybe it's the free warranty you get with every car. Maybe it's the money back guarantee you get. Maybe it's that your credit doesn't matter and just $39 down delivers any car. Maybe it's there's 500 cars to choose from. You know what? It's all of those. Now, who else could do that? Come on, when you need a car, you get a car at Car City.
In the Crosshairs is brought to you by Clam Lake Beer Company. With 40 beers on tap, great food, and great fun. Don't miss what everyone's talking about. Clam Lake Beer Company, Mitchell Street, Cadillac.
Taxidermy work for In the Crosshairs has been provided by Scott Keatsman of Linwood Taxidermy. Stop in and find out how Scott can keep your memory alive, one trophy at a time. In the Crosshairs hunting has also been brought to you by CP Oneida Eagle Bows. Oneida Bows, dare to be different. We dare to be different. Do you? Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's In the Crosshairs Hunting. I'm Stacy Skaggs, and we have got another fantastic show coming up today. Now, this morning, I'm actually hunting out here in my box blind. It's cold, it's nasty, it's rainy, it's real windy. The deer movement has been pretty slow. This is by far my favorite time of the year. The nights are getting colder, the leaves are starting to change, and the bucks are starting to get ruddy. This is when I love to be in the woods. You know, it's hard to imagine that just a month ago, almost to the date, I was up in the Upper Peninsula, the very far western side, at the base of the Porcupine Mountains, with Rory Rought of Northern Michigan Outfitters, and that's where we're going to start the show today. He invited me up there this year if I drew a tag for Bergland, and wouldn't you know it, as soon as the time came, I put in and I drew my tag. Couldn't wait to get up there. September 15th, Rory had the baits going, and I was pumped to get on the stand for the very first night. Well, hey guys, here we are. It is our first night in the UP of Michigan, the Upper Peninsula. We're in the Bergland area. I have drawn the second tag of the second season, and it starts today, the September 15th. We're up here with Rory Rought of Northern Michigan Outfitters. We went out this morning, we baited. This bait was pounded. Got pictures from last night of a littler bear. We're hoping that it's kind of like the deer thing when you put out a little bit of bait for deer. One deer comes in, then 2 deer, then 4 deer, then 10 deer. So we're hoping maybe that little bear draws in a bigger bear tonight. The weather has finally started to cooperate. It's nice and sunny, high 60s. That cold front has moved out of here. The bait's kind of slowed down, he said, during that cold front. But hopefully, it's Monday. It's supposed to be nice all week. We can get some bears coming in. So, super excited. Again, I gotta say thanks to Rory Rought of Northern Michigan Outfitters for inviting me up here. We're hoping it's going to be a good week. So, I'm all strapped in. The bait's at 24 yards, and we're hoping for a big black bear now. So, let's see what happens. I had just turned the camera off, I lost camera light, and I looked down, and here come the bear. Now, I could see the bear perfect, and as a matter of fact, I was at full draw, but I could not get this bear on camera. So I figured, hey, you know what? It's the first night of the hunt. I've got all week. This bear's going to come back. I'm not going to blow it. So I let down, hung my bow, watched the bear until full dark, got out of there, and came back the second day to rebait it with Rory. Well, hey guys, here we are. I'm with Rory Rought of Northern Michigan Outfitters, and this is actually the bait that I sat at last night. And we know it got hit because the bear come in just after I lost camera light. And Rory's gonna explain to us today exactly how we bait him up here. Now this is private land, but we're not using barrels. You use the log system here.
I don't do the barrel thing. These logs seem to work pretty well. Basically, we just cut us some nice, decent sized logs that the smaller animals can't get their paws and move. And we move them out of the way. You see there's a little bit left, but they cleaned her out pretty good. And once you get these things established, you can pretty much, you know, half a bucket just to keep them coming. So you just dump her back on in there. This is my dinner bell by banging that box. And we're gonna cover these suckers back up. I always put my logs pointed toward the bait. Generally what that does when the bear comes in, they'll give you a nice broadside shot because they'll usually peel these logs off from the side. So I always point it towards my stand over here. Simple as that. We're rebaited.
We're rebaited. Now let me get up from here. Now another thing that Rory has that has pretty much been your saving grace this year, and this is his own concoction, and he sells these. You call it the bait sucker.
Bear sucker.
Bear sucker.
Yeah.
Now the bear that came in last night, he came in, and the first thing that he went to was right over here to this bear sucker. Now come on over here, I'll show you this.
Basically what we do is this is a hard candy. It's basically a giant 10-pound sucker. I fill these things with pretty much anything that mimics the wild berries this time of year. Suckers in the candy, or the chain, I'm sorry. And basically all I do is, you can see how small of a branch I have this on. I mean, these are 300-pound animals. They're not snapping this off. But they'll lick this thing clean eventually. But you can see also, when it gets wet, the top parts of it drip. And that stuff goes right on the ground. And you can see where all these bears been pawing the hell out of that ground. So these things work pretty good.
One thing where these are good is let's say you've got a bait and you can't get to it every day. You know, let's say you're getting to it every other day, and at the outmost every third day, at least there's something here all the time. For anybody out there that's an outfitter that wants to, this has been your saving grace because you couldn't get up here a lot.
Yeah, I live 600 miles away, and these things here, this just leaves you something for these bears to keep coming back to, and they do. They love them. As you can see, so do the bees.
Yeah, so do the bees. And like I said last night, that bear came in, and the first thing he went to, he sat here on the sucker for probably 4 minutes, and then he walked over, tore the bait apart, got some cookie dough, came back. So hopefully tonight, I couldn't really tell how big he was. I didn't really know. It was pretty dark, and I couldn't get him on camera. So, and the bees are swarming John right now. He's swatting at him. So, but I'll tell you what, guys, Rory Rought, Northern Michigan Outfitters, the bear sucker is absolutely amazing. Probably one of the coolest things I have seen. We'll have all of his contact info, how to purchase them, where to get them at. But my bait is set. We're gonna check the trail camera. We're gonna go do 3 more and get out in the woods. So, going into Tuesday night, the second night of the hunt, I was pretty confident I was gonna get a shot at this bear. So here it is. It's about 6:45, and I look to my right and I catch black coming through the trees. Sure enough, here comes the bear. Now this is a great Northern Michigan bear, not a monster Boone and Crockett, but it's a 250-pound bear. And the average bear from Michigan is about 140 to 150 pounds. That's the average bear. So this is a good bear. And I'm going to take this bear if this bear will give me a shot. Now I think this bear knew I was in the tree, because when he came in and faced directly at me. And he would not turn. He just stood there straight on eating the bait. And yeah, he kind of turned once in a while he would turn to leave with a big chunk of cookie dough, or he'd walk over to the bear sucker. But when you're archery hunting, you can't just force the shot. And I take that back. When you're hunting with a gun or a muzzleloader or a bow, you can't just force the shot. You have to be very selective. You have to wait for the right shot. With an archery equipment, it's more imperative that you wait for that bear or the deer to be broadside, quartered away. You know, if I'd had a rifle, I could have shot him in the neck. There was some times where I could have shot, but with a bow, I couldn't shoot. And this bear stood there for 25 minutes eating the bait. Never gave me a shot. So I figured, okay, you know what? Tomorrow night, I'm going to hang the bow up and I'm bringing the fire stick. That way, if you do come in again, I'm going to put you down. Well, unfortunately, when the bear left and he walked straight to my left, I knew right where he was headed. He was headed to John, who was in the honey hole. Now, John, he forced the issue. He didn't give the bear enough time to get in the right position. He saw the bear, he got excited, he put the crosshairs on black, and he shot. We tracked it for almost 2 days, and we never did find that bear. It was a great bear, and it's unfortunate that it happened that way, but you know what? Lesson learned to John. Be patient. You know, he said, well, I didn't think the bear was going to come to the bait. Well, the bear wasn't there to climb up in the tree and have a conversation with you. The bear was there to hit the bait. You have to wait him out. You have to be patient. That bear would have came to the bait. So after that, unfortunately, it got cold and the baits just shut off. We were not having any success. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. It was a great hunt. I seen a good bear. But you know what? When you're hunting with a bow, you have to be your shot has to be perfect. And I wasn't going to force the issue, and it turned out that way. And I know Rory's got the bears, because check this out. This bear was shot the week before I got to camp. And that right there was a big bear. So, you know, Rory's a great guy. He's got a great camp out there. There's no dog runners. He's about 2.5 miles back in the woods on a 4-wheeler. And it's a pretty hairy ride. You're going through some stuff that you're not getting a truck down. So dog runners cannot access where he's at, which is a good thing. Lots of bears. He's got tons of bears up there. And I cannot wait to get my tag for 2015, and I'm headed back up there to try to get me a bear. And that's another great thing about Rory's camp. You can hunt his camp every year. The first season, you're going to have a couple points. But the second season and the third season, for sure, you can draw it with no points. So as soon as it comes time, I'm going to be putting in for Berglund, drawing me a tag, headed back up to the Porcupine Mountains with Rory, and getting me a bear. But hey, we gotta step aside for a quick minute. When we come back, we're gonna be headed to Missouri on a great archery hunt. Don't you guys go nowhere. We'll be right back.
A lot of tire companies claim to have great customer service and a can-do attitude. But at Cadillac Tire Center, our commitment to you is our #1 priority. From tires to brakes, suspension and alignment, Cadillac Tire provides quality products and service at the best price in town. No price matching games at Cadillac Tire, just exceptional service for every customer.
Visit Cadillac Tire Center and discover the difference local makes.
Is your home or business in need of a little TLC this year? Then check out Bigelow Supply of Cadillac, with the area's best selection of CertainTeed shingles in many patterns and colors. And while you're there, make sure to ask about their 5-star warranty on all their roofing products. Vinyl siding brands from Fairfield, CertainTeed, just to name a few. And for all your roofing and siding installation needs, there is only one name to call, and that's Bigelow. So no matter if it's windows, siding, or roofing, there's only one place to go and one place to call. Bigelow Supply of Cadillac.
Is your credit standing in the way of getting a great car? At Car City, that's never a problem. We've helped over 30,000 people with bruised credit get the car they need. You get to choose from over 500 cars and drive away in your new car in about an hour. All it takes is $39 down. We make it easy at Car City. Call us, visit us online, come see us. Remember, when you need a car, you get a car at Car City.
Hey, Car City.
This week's show has also been brought to you by Out the Door Rent to Own. Whether you're in need of furniture, electronics, or appliances, stop in and see Kevin for all the great deals. Out the Door Rent to Own, located on North Mitchell Street, Cadillac. And by Farm Bureau Insurance, the Shane Strickler Agency. Contact Shane for all your home, auto, commercial, and life needs. Farm Bureau Insurance, your Michigan insurance company. And buy Hooks and Bullets magazine. Hooks and Bullets is a free bi-monthly publication available at sporting goods stores, convenience stores, all across the great state of Michigan. Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Like I said before the commercial break, we're going to head to Missouri now on a great hunt that Kevin sent in to me, filming his father, Mike. You know, they've got some great ground in northern Missouri. And Missouri last year was hit hard with the HD. A lot of big bucks were killed. And they had a piece of property where EHD really wasn't that bad. A lot of neighboring farms, a lot of deer had died. So Kevin said, you know what, Dad? I'll film you. Let's get in the tree and let's see what happens. They had been sitting there for 20 minutes, hit the bag, and in come a little buck. Now clearly this is a non-shooter deer. I mean, it's a legal deer, but when you're hunting Missouri, Iowa, places like that, you're looking for Big Daddy. You know, he's got a few years to grow up to become a Big Daddy. So it wasn't maybe 30, 40 minutes. They heard movement to their left and looked up, and a shooter was coming.
About 30 yards, but he was quartering to me and I couldn't get a shot. There was those 2 or 3 little bucks that came through earlier. They were kind of hanging around chasing that doe too. He went on up the hill and went on around. Maybe she'll circle back and we'll get a shot at him yet.
Now, I don't care who you are. That's a shooter in anybody's ball game. And I don't care what state you're hunting in. That's a stud right there. They were close, just couldn't pull it all together. But you know, that's the great thing about Missouri. Lots of big bucks if you're on the right piece of property. And it wasn't 30, 40 minutes later when another shooter come walking in.
perfect shot on him. I think I hard shot him. And he didn't run probably 30, 35 yards over there and crashed.
First kill on video.
It's the first kill on video. And it's November the 10th. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Exciting. All right.
Well, the end result, I shot him up there about probably 35 yards over there, and he ran down here and crashed into this tree, fell over into this tree, and he's a basic 8-pointer, got a little kicker off his G2. His main beam's busted off a little bit.
Didn't see that, did we?
I didn't see that when I shot, but looks like it's been, well, it's either been knocked off for a while, or else it just, it almost looks like it was hurting velvet or something, because it's got a knob on the end of it here. But he's not the biggest deer I ever shot, but he's a pretty nice deer.
Well, congratulations. Great shot, Mike. May not be as big as that 10-point that first walked in, but that's a great shot. That is probably one of my favorite impact shots that I've ever seen. The buck is just tearing up a tree, and you smoke it. You heart shoot it. The deer goes 60 yards and piles up. Congratulations. Great shot. But guys, we got to step aside real quick. We got one last commercial break, and when we come back, this is going to be this week's segment of From the Bench. Don't you guys go nowhere. We'll be right back. This week's show has also been brought to you by Camo Creek Hydrographics. From skulls, big and small, flashlights, knives, if you can think it, Kevin can dip it. And by Uncle Bob's Smoky Mountain Premium Sauce, available in both hot and mild. Uncle Bob's makes whatever you put it on that much better. Find them online or at a retailer near you. Looking for a new pair of hunting boots this turkey season? Then look no further than Northwoods Feed and Supply of Cadillac, with the area's best selection of hunting boots from Irish Setter and Muck boots, in all sizes and many styles to choose from. And don't forget, spring is the time to start your mineral site and get your food plots in, with minerals like Lucky Buck, Big and J, and Trophy Rock. Seeds from rape, clover, buckwheat, just to name a few. So whether it's boots, seeds, or mineral you need this spring, stop into Northwoods Feed and Supply, located on Boone Road, Cadillac. Well, hey guys, welcome to this week's From the Bench. Now in this week's segment, what I'm going to talk about is something that happens almost all too often every year. You know, I don't care what kind of gun you shoot, whether you shoot a Remington, whether you shoot a Savage, whether you shoot a Browning, everybody's gun will shoot a different kind of ammunition better than somebody else's. You know, between my mom, my dad, and myself, we all have like 5.2 43s, and none of them shoot the same ammunition the best. My gun shoots Remington Core-Lock 100 grain bullets like a dream. But if you put a Federal, a Winchester, anything else in there, you might as well throw a knife at whatever you're shooting at, because it just sprays it all over the place. So the point of today's show is, this segment is, once you figure out what ammunition your gun will cycle through the best, always use that brand. You know, I think I have 10 or 11 boxes of 243s just for my gun. You know, they won't spoil, they don't go bad, and ammunition shortage the way that it is, it doesn't hurt to stockpile. So what we're going to do is I'm going to shoot the gun with 100 grain Core-Locks at 100 yards. And then I'm going to switch to an off-brand, same grain, and I'm going to shoot it at the same target. And I'm going to show you at just at 100 yards how far off this is. So let's load up the gun, let's get the hearing protection in, let's fire 2 rounds there at 100 yards with what the gun is sighted in at, and let's see what it does. Now, you can tell right there, 100 yards, she's pretty close right there. Now, let's switch and throw 2 of an off-brand in there at the same distance and see how far this, just see how far off this really is. Now, let's fire 2 rounds with an off-brand, same distance, same target, and let's see how far off this is. I'll show you right here how far off this is. This is only 100 yards. Oh, that's ugly. Oh, that's ugly. Well, there you have it. That's at 100 yards, and that's how far off that is. Same gun, it's practically the same exact bullet, but just different brand of manufacturer. Now imagine that's at 300 yards. You're probably going to hit a different animal than what you're even aiming at. So guys, very important, gals out there also, once you find out what your gun cycles the best, whether, and I don't care what brand it is, and I don't care if it's Core-Lock, nozzle, or partition, whatever it is, find it, stick with it, get yourself a bunch, because you don't want to run out in the middle of hunting season. And what if they don't have any left? Then what are you going to do? You're going to have to go through this whole process over again. So again, find yourself some ammo, stockpile it, and you do yourself a favor in the long run. But unfortunately, we have ran out of time for today's show. We certainly hope you enjoyed this show as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. And until next week, I'm Stacy Skaggs, and I'll see you here once again for another great episode of In the Crosshairs Hunting. I'll see you guys next week.